Good morning guys, we are back at the bus station. This feels like our favourite place, but we are at the Intercity bus station and I think the bus is going. I'll speak to you on the bus. That is better. Good morning guys, we are on the bus. I didn't need to rush. I don't even think the guy was talking to me, but we are today heading out of Surrender to Gjirokaster. It's about an hour and a half on the bus. I'm really hot. It may be hot, but I've got a new haircut for Gjirokaster.
And we have made it to Gjirokaster. So we got on the Furgon, the bus. How long do you reckon that took us? An hour?
About an hour and a half maybe at most.
It was much longer than we anticipated, wasn't it? I think when we got here on the way, obviously you come this way from Tirana, so you see everything, but I think we've been dropped off.
Right at the bottom of the road.
Where is the big road for the hill?
And we need to head somewhere up the hill up here.
We've read online that there's a 20-minute steep walk right up into Gjirokaster, but
we might
where
as well
on
get
earth
going.
do we go?
I don't know why, it might have been after visiting Bertrand, but I expected when you got to Gjirokaster that everything was like the old town itself, but at the bottom of the hill it really is just a normal town city, everyone going about their daily lives, but we are obviously not here to see that. We're now walking up the steep hill. Wish we had a car to get out there like that. Up to the UNESCO World Heritage Site town. I think it became UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2005 actually. I might be wrong. And you know you're heading up there because you get to the... They all seem to have these, don't they? Every UNESCO World Heritage Site town. It's got the cobbled streets.
We made it up. That is a long and steep walk, but once you do make it up you realise that you're not quite at the top, you're going to have to keep going. But partly behind me is the Bizarre Triangle, basically consisting of lovely cafes, restaurants and obviously shops. There's so many traditional Albanian souvenirs and they're like rugs or mats.
Traditional mats, rugs.
And it's just so pretty, like the streets just go off into different sections and there's just so many things to look at.
This will definitely be our spot for lunch. There are so many restaurants around here and you can see how it gets the nickname of the Stone City because all the roofs here are built of stone and they're actually a classic example of an Ottoman village and it was built by farmers hundreds of years ago and it's been preserved so well. But first stop will be the Gjirokaster Castle, which I think is the highest point, so we can walk up and then it will just be like walking back. Thank you.
We made it up to Gjirokaster Castle. The roads are so steep here, like literally every single road is so uphill, but we finally made it up. Entrance is 300 lek per person, and as you walk through to get out of the grounds, you go through like a huge museum. I totally didn't realise that they had this in here.
There's so much underground in this castle. That's what I didn't think. It says it dates back almost 1,500 years, some of the history.
1,500 years. I genuinely thought the castle was mainly just so you can come on top and see the views, but really there's loads inside that you can see as well.
Would not expect to find this in Gjirokaster. This is an old US Air Force plane, and there's actually two tales. The US say that this plane got lost in fog and it had really bad weather, so it had to make an emergency landing in Albania. But the old communist regime actually said there was a US spy plane that they intercepted, and it's left here to remember. Whose story do you believe? From up here as well, you can also see the contrast between the old town and the new town. Obviously the old town has all them traditional stone roofs. Also behind me actually, they have a festival here once every year. I don't know what type of festival it is. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a Glastonbury or something like that. But they do have a festival up here. Hopefully they do culture, and hopefully it wasn't ruined because of coronavirus this year.
We've had to run all the way back down because I don't know what's happened, but the weather has taken a turn for the worse. There's like a storm, the clouds are black, the wind has picked up, so we're back down to the old bazaar now.
Which is sort of perfect. I'm hungry.
It's what we were
I need a
looking for
drink. And
anyway.
this is the place, I think if you're going to come here, you want to walk the streets of the old bazaar.
This is what
It's
you
nice,
see,
this.
isn't it, when you think of the UNESCO type.
I think as soon as we saw a rain cloud, it was literally just an excuse to get a culture. We find culture anyway. This is meant to be UNESCO World Heritage Site. We find beer, but we've come into Gjirokaster, which is a family-run traditional restaurant, which is slap bang in the old bazaar, and we've actually ordered like a platter of their traditional foods. So I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be. I'll be looking at the menu, explaining to you what we've got. Their traditional foods for Gjirokaster, dating back to the Ottoman era, I think, and the culture's nice and cold.
Oh, amazing!
Whoa,
thank you.
Look at this. Thank you very much.
Oh, rice balls, amazing, thank you. And it smells so good.
Wow, look at all of this.
It smells so good. So I think I've got it down to a T as to what they are. So these two
Hold on, I'm gonna have to come with you. So these two
are rice balls, and they've got like spinach and egg. It's like a really local thing. We've got sliced potato. This is a burek, not sure what's in it. This is a vegetarian dumpling, I believe. This is also a burek. We've got a stuffed pepper, and then we've got yogurt and honey, cheese and honey, sorry.
And what's this?
That is also another sort of pie. And then this is a sweet dessert. So my mouth's watering. Yeah, I know. I think we should start with the rice bowl.
Go on, I'm gonna let you start.
Do I get my knife and fork?
Grab it with your hand.
No, you grab it. I've got tongs.
Pick it up.
Yeah, true, actually. Wow, hot. It's like crispy, fluffy rice on the outside. On the inside, it's got like cheese, spinach, and like fried egg. It tastes so good.
I'm going straight in my hand. I'm trying the kofta vegetarian dumpling.
Make sure you save half
Oh,
for
it
me.
smells good.
Everything's got spinach and spices in.
It's got spinach.
Potatoes, onions, and peppers, cheese.
And
I
cheese.
think.
That's really good. I love the cheese.
Cheese is so good.
Actually reminds me a little bit of a falafel.
The plate is going down.
We're getting
you
there.
are next to try.
The egg burek, which we haven't had before. I've had tomato, like the traditional one with tomatoes, spinach, herbs. I have had the cheese burek, and now
Didn't we have one with salami in as well?
I think we did, yeah. Like a meat burek, and this is my first egg burek.
You can't go wrong, right?
Can't go wrong with Barek. I'm like an expert on Barek, so I knew I was going to love that. Last, but not least.
Well, we hope that this is the sweet one that she said.
I hope so. If we've eaten the dessert already.
We would have known,
yeah, you would have known, surely.
This is possibly a pumpkin pie, I think. Yeah, sort of like a pumpkin barek, but hopefully it is sweet. It looks kind of gooey, which is nice. You ready?
I'm ready. Is it sweet?
Yeah.
So we saved dessert last.
Oh, that is
What's
so
it like?
good. I've never had pumpkin before.
I don't think I have. We are getting near Halloween.
You know what I can describe it as? It tastes a bit like maple syrup.
Really?
Really, really nice.
That food was lovely, especially that, I'm going to call it like a barek dessert, a dessert barek. It was very cinnamony, really, really nice, and it was actually really cheap. It was one of the cheapest Korcha pints that we've had.
Yeah, a pint was only 200 lek.
Yeah, the sharing platter for two was like £5 English, which is really, really reasonable. I'm really full up now.
Stuffed. I think the food here just really fills you up with all the pastry, all the cheese.
Yeah, you could definitely get fat in Albania, for sure. But unfortunately, we're heading back to the bus. That is the problem, only coming for a day. If you were coming, I would highly recommend on your way to Saranda, because the bus from Tirana heads past Gjirokaster. Get off here, spend a night or two in Gjirokaster, because I think it'd be nice to just go out at night to one of the bars, chill out, walk through the cobbled streets. So maybe I'd recommend do 1, maybe 2 nights, because there's lots of hotels and hostels. We've only got a day.
It's a shame we didn't really think about it when we were on the way through, but it's definitely something that we would have done.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the old bazaar, the cobbled streets. It's just really, really nice. But yeah, we've got to find the bus now, and we're not too sure how often they run. We've got to go to the main road and just hope that there's one heading to Saranda. We have now been at the bus stop almost an hour. You need to get used to this. You're never sure when it's going to come, and you're like, is it not? Is it? Every time a bus comes, it's going somewhere else. It really is fun though.
And we are finally back in Saranda. I love getting the buses here in Albania. However, when you don't know what time they're coming, you don't know when they're coming, you don't know if they're coming, it does become stressful. Right? Yes, getting the buses here is an adventure in itself.
It's a really badly poured beer.
Oh my god, that's all froth.
Look at that. It's all, I'm drinking it out of a plastic, like kids milkshake yesterday and a kids cup for my beer today.
The bus we actually managed to get on was luckily the one that was coming from Tirana, so it was the huge sort of, not really what are they called, furgons? It was more like a coach, wasn't it?
Basically be ready, because you're gonna, it can add a lot onto your day. We had to wait probably about an hour. I suppose it is all part of the adventure, but we are going to end this video because it is our last night in Saranda.
We're so sad.
I was about to say hence the beer, but
it is always a beer.
We're going to go to Limini for one last dinner. We're not going to film because we've filmed too much already, and we want to enjoy our beers, and we have a lot of packing to do because we are heading up the coast tomorrow to Himare, which we are very, very excited to see, and have a little plan in store because Molly's birthday is coming soon.
I'm really sad to leave Saranda, but so excited to see Himare. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new, because we are going to be doing so much more travelling up the coast.
We want to stay on the coast for basically we're going to stay on the coast for as long as possible, because as soon as that cold weather comes, there's no more beaches. See you tomorrow.